Hey, what's going on, guys? Mike from the Retro Lectors, and you're watching Retro Game Lounge.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Retro Game Lounge. With me, I can't say as always, but I mean as of late, it's kind of as always. System Syko.
What's going on, people?
Coming to hang out. We're not doing Retro Game Haul today, as you can obviously tell by the title. Yeah, I didn't think that went through before I said it, so that's okay. But no, today we're actually going to talk about collecting Xbox. I've previously done 2 installments of this. If you haven't already seen them, go ahead and check out the links below, where I've covered just what I feel are some hidden gems in the Xbox collecting universe, some games that a lot of people might have overlooked. And I gotta be honest with you, man, I figured after part 2, I figured that was it. Like, I figured I'd covered, like, all the stuff that I thought was awesome that everybody missed. But,
really?
Yeah, I was, like, looking through my collection not long ago, and I just noticed, I was like, you know what? Like, I can't believe I missed, like, this, and that. Like, I can't believe I didn't talk about these. And I was able to come up with, like, kind of a roster of more or less 5 or 6 installments where I was like, you know, I think these are worthwhile. I think these are worth collecting for the Xbox. So we're going to talk about them in no particular order. We actually just got done playing a batch of them, just as kind of a refresher. And just stay tuned, and here we go, I guess.
Yeah!
Thanks for watching. Okay, so first up, we got 2 for the price of 1 here. We got Capcom Collections Part 1 and Part 2. Basically what these are, it is different games, you know, in each installment, but basically what you're looking at, as a rule, is a series of arcade ROMs for a lot of the rather really good Capcom games. And they pretty much had a really long list of arcade hits. I mean, their library is actually pretty impressive. Them and Konami just like could basically do no wrong.
Yeah.
When it came to arcade games. We'll start with Volume 1 here. We got 22 arcade classics on this one. I'll go through some of the highlights. We have Street Fighter 2, we have Ghosts and Goblins, Legendary Wings, Bionic Commando, Forgotten Worlds, Ghouls and Ghosts, Section Z, 1942, Mercs, Commando, XX's, I don't know what that one is, Gun.Smoke, the arcade version, Sun, and Final Fight, plus 8 more games. So, we were reviewing this one, and we noticed something on it that we both felt was kind of cool. Okay, so not only do you have Ghosts and Goblins, the arcade version, you have Ghouls and Ghosts, the arcade version, but they also included Super Ghouls and Ghosts, the SNES version, which is technically different from regular Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah.
I personally thought that was a really sweet addition, because, I mean, it's like, they've already included Ghosts and Goblins, they've already included Ghouls and Ghosts. Like, they didn't have to throw this in, but they did.
Yeah.
So you've got the legit SNES port.
And it's the only console game in this collection, because all the other ones are arcades, right?
It is, yes. It
from what we noticed.
I'm 99% sure that all the rest of these are just arcade ports. That one is the only one that's actually a actual console game, meaning Super Ghouls and Ghosts did not exist in the arcade. It was only on the Super Nintendo. On top of that, you have 3 different versions of Street Fighter 2. You have the original, you have Championship Edition, and you have Hyper Fighting.
Turbo, right?
So yeah, it's like basically the same. You know, it's just like everything's sped up basically.
Yep.
You know, but in Championship, you know, you can play as Sagat, you can play as M. Bison, and everything like that. So you basically have the 3 versions that you would want to have, at least for me, of Street Fighter 2, like the 3 core versions of it: the original game and the 2 initial revisions. And then on top of that, you know, you've got 1942 and 1943, just, you know, a couple of obscure, you know, Japanese games like Sun, for example.
They also have 1943 Kai, right?
Yes, they have 1943 Kai, which in my opinion is the better game, because it's like 1943, but like an extra punch to the nuts. Because it's like bullet hell, but it's even more bullet hellish. But it's just, there's so many great games, you know, in this series, where the NES games themselves were good and the arcade ports obviously were even better. You know, because back then the arcade game was always better.
Of course.
So Part 1 is definitely a freaking epic collection, but let's talk about Part 2.
Part 2, this one actually doesn't even have the list in the back.
That's okay, we can talk about some of the games in there. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yeah, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which is the one with the Kuma. It's the 3DO well, not the 3DO version, but it's the one that 3DO had.
Yes.
And I remember I played it back in the day at the arcade, so it's the one where they introduced the specials. This one looks like it has Strider, Knights of the Round,
King of Dragons,
a
whole ton more. We'll put the list down on the screen there so you guys can see it. But this one has more of a focus on beat 'em ups.
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
One of the games we played was Avengers.
Oh boy,
which according to Jimbo is probably the worst beat 'em up he's ever played in his life.
It is. It's hard to make it. Like seriously, think of all the beat 'em ups that you love, then think of all the bad ones.
Yeah, and then throw Zelda in there.
It's like when you think about beat 'em ups, you think of like most of the beat 'em ups you played are pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is it? Would you not agree that it's kind of difficult to think of a bad beat 'em up? It's like pizza. Like even if pizza sucks, it's still kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Like a beat 'em up is like even if it's a shitty beat 'em up, it's still kind of cool.
Yeah, but this one's a little different because it's like top. It's like a top.
Yeah.
It's kind of like gun dot smoke, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like punching and kicking.
It's a top down beat 'em up.
Yeah.
If you can understand what I mean, we'll show you on the screen obviously what this looks like, but it kind of gets to the point where it's just like it seemed like game developers are running out of ideas and they're probably sitting around in a meeting spitballing. It's like, what if we did a beat 'em up that looks like a shoot 'em up?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then like, here we are like 30 years later and we're like, that's not a great idea. Yeah. That's a fucking horrible idea.
Dude, I know why I've never even heard of it. That's probably one
because
of
it's horrible.
Yeah, it's one of Capcom's like worst games.
It is.
It's real bad, dude.
There is an arcade game I know that's similar to this that I've seen before called Downtown, which is basically the same thing. Okay. It's like a top-down beat 'em up where you're this like you look like the dude from Falling Down, like he just got off work and he just decides to go out and beat the fuck out of people.
Okay.
So I guess it's kind of like Renegade. That's basically what that was. But yeah, it's like this wasn't, Avengers wasn't unique in the only, top-down beat 'em up. There is actually at least one other one out there. So someone else thought it was a good idea too, but they didn't ask us.
Yeah.
So that's
game is trash.
Fucking Fruitio beat 'em up.
The game is
Toucan Bob
beat 'em up. Poor man's version of a beat 'em up. So
yeah, would you mention that in your circle of friends, like retrospectively, like when you was like, dude, I remember Streets of Rage, remember Final Fight? It's like, yo, remember Avengers? And everyone's like,
what, Captain America?
Yeah, exactly. That's the first question they're gonna ask. Like, oh yeah, that was a great beat 'em up. They're like, no man, Avengers, where you like those two dudes and you're like walking around, you have to rescue all these different chicks.
Oh yeah,
different
chicks from like different countries or whatever.
And what do you do with different chicks from different countries when you're rescuing all of them?
You pump and dump them.
Exactly, like a fucking bad stock. So, yeah, this was not a good game, and Miguel was having some trouble with men grabbing him in this game, which is funny. He's like, dude, he gets grabbed for like a second, and you're dead.
Yeah, like even if you have a full health, they'll just grab you, and like I was pressing all the buttons, and I just couldn't even get out of it.
It's worse than Kung Fu. Like the NES game where the dudes grab you and your life slowly goes down. No, this was like that on crack.
Yeah, this game is real bad, dude.
That was just not a good game.
You guys can totally skip Avengers. And then the other game we played was Eco Fighters.
Yes, which was a really good shoot 'em up that looks like a cute 'em up.
It's a horizontal shoot 'em up.
Yes.
Shoot 'em up. It's like R-Type, but it's like like you said, it's a cute 'em up, but
kind of like a shoot 'em up. Like, it plays like a shoot 'em up, and it looks like a cute 'em up.
Exactly.
Which you may be saying, like, dude, don't all cute 'em ups do that? Well, okay, let me extrapolate on that a little bit. So, you've got, like, the R-Type style sprites and stuff, like really detailed sprites, but the thing is you have, like, ships that have, like, faces on them. And not like skulls or anything like that. Like, they have a little smile and shit, and the colors are all bright and, like, poppy and pinks and, pastels and things like that. Like, all the things that are kind of a hallmark of a cute 'em up.
Okay.
But it's like super duper like explosion-y, action-y, like a shoot 'em up. So it's almost like it's kind of got one foot in each pool. Where it's like a little bit of both. But I thought it was great because it's a twin stick. Like you can rotate your gun 360 degrees, which we're playing on the OG Xbox controller, so you can either like use X or A and a combination of those two to move the stick, or you can just move the other stick and just use the trigger to shoot. So it's I love sticks. I love games like that, like Forgotten Realms or Forgotten Worlds rather. I absolutely love games like that. So
to me, it reminds me of the Capcom beat 'em up Battle Circuit. The way the colors are and the way it looks, it's just a shoot 'em up version of Battle Circuit to me.
That's the one on the Beat 'em Ups collection, correct?
Yeah, correct. Okay. Battle Circuit. It's actually the first time it's ever been ported to a console, I believe. And I think it's actually Capcom's last arcade beat 'em up. If I remember correctly, it came out like in 96 or 97 or 98. One of those 3 years it came out.
That would be very late in the game.
It is very late in the game. But
awesome.
Yeah, that was a good game. And then I guess the last couple of games I remember was Strider. This game has Strider.
Arcade Strider.
Yeah, and then what is it? Magic Sword?
Magic Sword's on there, yes.
And
Black Tiger?
Black Tiger?
Yes. Which, in my opinion, is the sidequel, basically, to Magic Sword. I own both arcade cabinets. They're both downstairs in the game room, so it's like, yeah, they're both Capcom. Black Tiger was first, Magic Sword was later. Like, it's just my opinion, guys. But I mean, when you look at the art style, you look at the play style and everything like that, Black Tiger to me looks more or less like the sidequel to Magic Sword. Like, not necessarily a prequel because they aren't really related, but Capcom, they're definitely, it's definitely in the same universe, at least in my opinion. But yeah, there's, between these two collections, guys, you can't go wrong. I mean, these things, this is Capcom doing what Capcom does best. You know, shoot 'em ups, beat 'em ups, weird Japanese shit where it's like a top-down beat 'em up, just like really bizarre shit like that.
Yeah.
These collections are freaking amazing.
And the thing about, so I know PS2 came out with these as well, but if
these are worth more.
Yeah, these are especially the second one. This one is worth a little bit more than the PS2 versions.
Yes.
So if you want to buy one, just know that you're going to be paying a little bit more for Xbox and PS2.
Probably close to the $50 mark for this one. This one, 20-ish, maybe 25 or whatever. But I mean, this one has the better collection of games, in my opinion. Like, it's, you know, the beat 'em ups and the shoot 'em ups and stuff like that. This one's definitely good. Don't get me wrong. It's just if I had to pick, the price reflects the quality of games on here, in my opinion. You're getting what you're paying for with that one.
Yep.
So, check them out. Okay, so next up, we got another two for the price of one. We have King of Fighters 2002, 2003, and King of Fighters New Wave. So, you might be asking, what is the big difference between these two? To be honest, not that much. The main difference would be roster. There is difference, like you get different stages. Not all of them are 3-on-3. That's only, I think these two. I think that one is still 1-on-1, if I remember correctly. Is it?
Oh man, 43 SNK.
No, that one's 3-on-3 too. Okay, so one of these is 3-on-3 and one of these is not. So yeah.
Okay.
That one's 3-on-3. One of these is 3-on-3, and the other one is, I think you're still 1-on-1. So the main differences. Slight upgrades to the art style, like you can kind of see like the Neo Geo thing evolving and stuff. This in particular featured Xbox Live Tournament mode, which this is when Xbox Live was basically just starting out.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a new thing. What struck me as strange though is, so this has 2002 and 2003 on it. 2002 actually has more characters than 2003. 2002 has 44 and 2003 has 35. You think it'd be more, like you think it would just get bigger each time. I'm sure there's a reason for that. I don't know what, but let's see. Over the top super special moves to cause extreme damage. Upgraded Maxon power system. 5 bonus characters. Total of 44 characters from King of Fighters 96 through King of Fighters 2001 available for the first time in one arena. Excuse me. So, but I mean, it's, you know, as we were discussing earlier, like if you played one King of Fighters, you basically played all the King of Fighters. Like they just keep adding stuff to it. Not that that's a bad thing to basically stick with the formula. I think it's a great formula. I love the King of Fighters series. Yeah. My favorite one, just as an FYI, is King of Fighters 13, which I have an Xbox 360. That is by far the greatest King of Fighters game ever. Really good, it's fucking beautiful. But at the same time, if you like the OG KOF shit, these two are not that expensive. You know, they're, you know, if you deal shop $30, maybe ish, you know, for each one. If you really like KOF like the way I do, these are definitely a great addition to any Xbox collection in my opinion.
Of course, and obviously this one is exclusive to the Xbox. Now, I think the reason why they did that is because the 2000 and 2001 only came out for PS2, as well as this version came out for PS2.
Yes.
So 2002, 2003 only came out for Xbox, so I figured they probably made this one exclusive.
Probably.
Since they didn't get the 2000 and 2001.
Yep.
So.
King of Fighters, man.
Yeah, man, SNK all day, dude. Like, you always
SNK all the fucking way.
You always gotta support them because
they're awesome.
They're old school and they're awesome.
You know? They really have been doing the same thing since the 90s.
And they
like,
do it well, you know, so.
They're still doing kind of like sprite-ish stuff. Yeah. Like, they really haven't changed all that much. And you know what? Good. Yeah. Like, I don't want them to change. So, Neo Geo.
Always good to have in your collection.
Absolutely. So, we go from fighters to a hidden gem beat 'em up. From Sega, no less.
Yeah.
The House of Streets of Rage.
I know.
So we have Spike Out Battle Street, only on Xbox. Okay. So the first thing that I have to tell you about this game is that it has System Link. You can actually System Link 4 Xboxes on this and play 16 people in a beat 'em up battle royale.
Wait, you can play 16 people on this?
Yes. 4 people on each Xbox.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, players 1 to 4, System Link 2 to 4. So yeah. You can basically have like a fucking gang war essentially, where like each Xbox is like a gang, and you can just land your shit around your house and just kick each other's ass.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was on Xbox Live originally, obviously, and in-game Dolby Digital, it uses the headset and everything like that. But to get to the nuts and bolts of it, guys, in my opinion, still with me, bro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I promise it's a way better game than he's giving me credit for. It's not that boring.
No.
This is a good game. It really is.
It's hard as shit.
It is very hard. If I had to quantify this as what like the elevator pitch on this for me would be, it's Xbox generation 3D Streets of Rage. Because it's from Sega. I mean, this is basically the spiritual sequel in 3D, using 3D rendered textures to the Streets of Rage series. It has the same kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
Where there's really colorful characters and stuff. There's combos and everything like that. You can do team up moves and shit. It's a difficult ass game, but it's also really, really fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's very satisfying when you. The biggest problem that some beat 'em ups don't seem to grasp is when you hit someone, you do a combo on someone, it needs to be satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, when I think about that, I think of like Final Fight. When you're Hagaring somebody, you're coding, when you're just beating the shit out of them. Like, it's got to be a satisfying feeling. This game does it well.
Yeah.
And again, if you got 4 copies of this, 4 Xboxes, and 4 televisions.
Good lord.
Dude, this might be the only game in the Xbox library you can do that. It's 16 player.
Yeah.
I mean, Halo, obviously. You can do that. Halo 2 is System Link. But, like, this is definitely the only 16 player beat 'em up probably ever. So.
I'm surprised, like, they didn't really market this game that well.
No.
Because I didn't really hear much about it.
Nope.
Like,
I got it when it was new.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Like, I'd heard about it basically in, I think, Electronic Gaming Monthly, where they're like, Sega's making a new brawler. And I was like, oh? I was like, what?
And it's really arcadey, too.
It is very arcadey. Like, it's like a, modern Streets of Rage arcadey Sega beat 'em up. But it's very good, though.
And, but I don't know, man. The title sounds like a volleyball game.
It does. Like, if they didn't include the Battle Street thing, like, it does say Battle Street.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spike Out, that's a volleyball term.
Yeah.
But I guess it's because one dude, like, you can kind of spike people into the street like a fucking volleyball and they bounce. So, but no, seriously, we had a lot of fun playing this game. It's actually a really good brawler. Like, in an era where good brawlers basically didn't exist. Like, this is a very, very low point for brawlers. They kind of got out of fashion in the 90s. Because they were after Final Fight, they were like everywhere. Like, everyone was building a beat 'em up. And then they kind of, everyone moved on to shooters, and Sega's like, hey, let's build a brawler. So, Spike Up Battle Street.
And it's exclusive to Xbox, of course.
It is, and you can actually still get sealed copies of this on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for like $30, you can get a brand new copy.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Cool.
You're welcome. So, Spike Up Battle Street. Sega. Sega! So, next up, we actually have an entry into the Fallout franchise, but this is definitely the odd duck in the Fallout franchise. So we have Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. Basically, what would I call this? If you took Baldur's Gate and put it in the Fallout universe, you basically have this game.
Yeah, it's kind of, what it reminds me of? Hunter the Reckoning.
Yes, like that, like kind of top-down dungeon crawlery kind of stuff. That's why I mentioned Baldur's Gate, because that's probably the one everyone knows. But dude, mad points for mentioning Hunter the Reckoning. That game fucking rules.
I don't play Baldur's Gate, but I know Hunter the Reckoning.
You know what's funny? Hunter the Reckoning and its sequel were in the first Xbox collecting video I did, actually.
Oh, for real?
That was what inspired me to do Hidden Gems.
Nice.
Because not everyone appreciated that. I thought those games were amazing, but...
I think they are, too.
Yeah, this it's co-op, it's not 4-player, but it's like a top-down, like, dungeon crawler set in the Fallout universe, where you can fight, you can shoot, all kinds of stuff. Is it the prettiest game in the Xbox catalog? No. Like, graphically, it's not the most impressive. But... it definitely is a Fallout game. Like, all the things with caps and everything, like, all the tropes that you want in a Fallout game, this has it. You know, like, the whole wasteland thing and everything. And it's got actually a pretty kick-ass soundtrack, man. There's, like, a ton of fucking metal bands on here, like Slipknot and crap. So there's a lot of really good stuff in this. This is definitely a hidden gem, in my opinion, because everyone's heard of Fallout, and everyone, you mentioned Brotherhood of Steel, they're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
So, if you just want to grab a buddy and do, like, a Baldur's Gate-y, kind of Hunter the Reckoning type of stuff and just fuck up shit in the post-apocalyptic wasteland, this is the game for you. So, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
Cop it.
Hook it up. So, that wraps up Xbox Collecting Hidden Gems Part 3. I can't say for sure that this is the final installment in the series, but I can say I'm 99% sure, because it was...
Really?
Yeah, it was... Dude, finding this list... I really had to look through the collection and be like, did I miss anything? I of all the ones that I own, at least, unless it's a game I don't own, of all the ones that I own and that I've currently played, this is basically it for me. As far as the ones that, I mean, there are other good Xbox games, but they're not hidden gems. They're just good games.
Oh, okay.
Like these are the last group that I think fell off the radar.
I don't know what you did in the other 2 vids, but I'll check them out. But
all kinds of good stuff. Like Call of Cthulhu was one of the big ones, which I bought new.
Did you put Phantom Dust?
No.
Ooh.
Is that a good game?
Yeah, that's a good one. How about like?
I did the Metal Slug games.
Okay.
Because again, I got those new, which were hard to find even back then, actually.
So yeah, I'm saying like I'll probably go through my list, and
Sure.
if I find some Xbox gems,
Bring them over.
I'll
Let's
let
play
you
'em.
know, and then we'll do part Quattro.
That's Spanish.
Quattro. So
See?
so we'll do that. So but yeah, I'll check out the other ones you made.
Sure.
And of course, check out the vids down low.
For part 1 and part 2.
Part 2.
Links in the description.
Part 1.
But guys, if we haven't covered one, if we haven't covered one in the 3 installments of this, leave a comment below. Like, what do you feel is an original Xbox? It has to be that generation, OG Xbox, that you feel is a hidden gem that I haven't covered. I think I've covered almost all of them. Like, there might be maybe 1 or 2 that I've missed, but I think the majority of the ones that we haven't talked about are just the ones that everyone else talks about. Like the Halo franchise and etc.
Yeah.
I went to the groups that I felt were far off the radar. Meaning, dude, who's heard of Spike Out Battle Street?
I know.
And it's a Sega game, which is really weird. Like, it was a major release from Sega. It wasn't in a bunch of stores. Much like when they did the 2 Metal Slug ports.
Okay.
Dude, I had to go to like 3 different GameStops to find those. Like, I went in there and I was like, hey, do you guys have Metal Slug? They're like, what?
Yeah.
They didn't know what I was talking about. I was like, yeah, it's for Xbox. It comes out today. Mm-hmm. Same for Call of Cthulhu. I had to call like a bunch of GameStops to get it because I had read about it coming out. So even back then, it was actually a pain in the ass to get. And dude, that was the first Xbox game I bought where I was like, this is going to be valuable someday.
Interesting.
Like, I knew back because it was so hard to get and it was such a good game, because it was put out by Bethesda. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a big deal someday. And lo and behold, it is. It's one of the sought-after Xbox games. So
yeah, the thing about the Xbox, so I didn't realize this until maybe a few years ago. I used to hate on the Xbox because I figured, man, heck, Xbox only got like Halo and all this shit, right? And I started collecting for it, and I found that Xbox does have a lot of hidden gems.
It does.
And people actually consider the Xbox to be like the spiritual successor to the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
They call it the Dreamcast too because it has games like Jack Ryan Radio, a lot of Sega games like Spike Out Battle Street, which is really arcadey. Like a lot of the gems we're talking about is kind of like a Dreamcast console because Dreamcast was like really arcadey.
It was, yeah.
You know what I mean? And Dreamcast had Evil Dead game, like we was talking about.
And this one does too. Yeah, there's a lot of parallels.
Yeah, so Xbox actually has a lot of pretty good,
They do. There was a lot of kind of low print run stuff where they didn't put out a huge number of these things that were legitimately good games. So don't sleep on Xbox, man. On OG Xbox, there's a lot of good stuff on there. There really is. You gotta dive deep, but I mean, we're kind of doing the work for you here because you got 3 videos out of me on this. So it's like, I'm basically saying, like, guys, these are all good games, and most of them aren't expensive. Go check them out.
Yep.
So, thanks, Miguel, for joining me, System Psycho, the one and only, in your Magnum PI shirt, which is fucking dope.
Tom Selleck missing that mustache.
I know. That's okay, and I'm all Capcomed up for this one, man. I'm all Blue Bombers. But thank you, everyone, so much for stopping by, and maybe there will be a part 4.
We'll see. We'll make it happen.
We gotta come up with 6 games to get it to work. So,
all right, guys. Peace.